Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're breaking down a massive paradigm shift, the one thing that literally separates the truly wealthy from, well, everybody else. We're talking about why scaling beats selling time. It's the critical difference between just trading your hours for rupees and building infinite leverage. So if you've ever felt like you're working harder and harder but not actually getting any closer to true financial freedom, this is exactly what you need to hear. All right, let's jump right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the time for money trap, then look at scaling through smart investing and avoiding the luxury illusion. After that, we'll cover scaling through your environment, mastering sales for leverage, and finally, guarding your absolute most valuable asset.
All right, part one, the time for money trap.
So ask yourself, are you trading your time for money? Are you falling into the exact same trap as, say, a highly successful local doctor? Think about a professional who is incredibly good at what they do, right? Over 5 years, they've successfully raised their consultation fee from 500 rupees to 1,000 and eventually up to 1,500. They've got patients lining up from morning till night. But here is the hard truth. No matter how much they raise that fee, they are fundamentally capped by a 24-hour day. They're successfully selling their time, sure, but they have zero leverage. Now, contrast that busy doctor with a hospital owner. Look, having a high-income skill, whether that's medicine or maybe video editing, is fantastic. But if you're the one doing all the work, you're really just a highly paid employee to yourself. The hospital owner, on the other hand, they create an ecosystem. They hire multiple doctors to treat patients. They leverage the time and the skills of other people, which allows for infinite scale. They set the rules of the game. True wealth requires building that ecosystem.
Moving on to part two, scaling through smart investing.
You have to start thinking of the stock market not as some giant casino, but as a place to actually acquire business partnerships. A lot of people think, hey, starting a business requires 10 lakh or 50 lakh. But when you buy shares, you're instantly becoming a partner in an existing operating business. And this is huge. While flat index returns on the Nifty might hover on the lower side over a certain period, picking top-performing small-cap companies actually yielded a staggering 1,100% return over a 5-year stretch. Let's put a real number to that percentage to make it concrete. If you had taken just one lakh and correctly placed it into these small cap business partnerships, it would have grown to 12 lakh. Yep, 1,200,000 rupees. Your money scaled entirely passively while you slept. This right here is exactly how you utilize financial leverage if you don't necessarily want to go out and build a physical business yourself.
Which brings us to number three, avoiding the luxury illusion. Flashy cars, designer shoes, the brand new iPhone 17. Look, buying these depreciating assets just to impress strangers is a massive, massive mistake. And you know why? Because those strangers are way too busy looking in the mirror, worrying about themselves. You've got to contrast that urge with buying appreciating assets that actually compound your wealth. We're talking stock portfolios, business equity, and high-income skills. And this leads to a really beautiful definition of wealth. True luxury isn't a flashy car that you're stressing over to make the EMIs on every month. No way. True luxury is walking into a local tea stall or even a 5-star restaurant and ordering absolutely whatever you want without ever needing to glance at the right side of the menu to check the price tag. Now that is real financial freedom. Let's dive into section 4, scaling through your environment. Consider this brilliant scientific metaphor, osmosis. Think of it like gym osmosis. If you just stand in a gym, totally surrounded by fit people who are eating clean and working out hard for 365 days, you almost don't even have to try. Their habits, their energy, their mindset, it'll all naturally transfer to you. You'll inevitably start getting healthier. Well, the exact same principle applies to your wealth. You've probably heard this famous quote before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. But it's the actual application of this that matters. If you want to become a millionaire, there isn't some university course for it. Your course is ruthlessly upgrading your inner circle to include millionaires. If you spend your time with 5 millionaires, you're pretty much guaranteed to become the 6th. But here's the catch. Highly successful people aren't just going to let anyone into their circle. So you have to use what we call backward vision. Think about it this way. If a father wants his son to play for the Indian national cricket team, he knows he can't just walk him right into the dressing room. He has to plan backwards. The boy first needs to reach the IPL. But to get there, he needs to excel in the Ranji Trophy. And before that, state-level matches. You have to build your own ladders to reach elite circles. You basically have to become a player who actually belongs in that room.
Because here is the unapologetic truth.
The universe doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you exactly what you deserve right now. To put it bluntly, if you aren't married to Katrina Kaif, it's because you want Vicky Kaushal. From your current bank balance to your relationships, you are getting exactly what your current value dictates. If you want to scale your life, you have got to increase your deservingness.
And that brings us to part 5, mastering sales for leverage.
As the renowned speaker Shiv Khera so perfectly put it, salespeople are the first to be hired and the last to be fired. They are the absolute lifeblood of any organization. Think about it. Without sales, there's literally no revenue to pay the HR department or the accountants. Whether you're interviewing for a white-collar job, proposing to a life partner, or pitching a brand new business idea, you are selling. Mastering this skill, it's completely non-negotiable if you want real leverage.
There are incredible hidden benefits to taking on sales roles, even the really tough ones like direct selling or insurance. For one, it forces you to embrace customer rejection, which builds unbelievable resilience. It also teaches you deep human psychology. But most importantly, it moves you far away from fixed salary limitations and unlocks uncapped commission potential. You finally get paid for the leverage and the volume you bring to the table, not just the hours you spend sitting at a desk.
All right, our final section, number 6, guarding your most valuable assets.
We see this middle-class mindset all the time, right? Someone spending an hour sweating in the driveway, washing their own car, just to save a few thousand rupees. But the wealthy? They delegate those manual tasks. And why is that? Because they understand that their time is so much better spent at the gym, improving their health, or sitting down to make high-level strategic decisions that can actually grow their wealth exponentially.
This is exactly why the wealthy tend to favor games like chess or golf. In these games, a single, highly calculated decision, or just one perfect swing, dictates the entire outcome. They deeply understand that raw effort does not equal leverage. I mean, a laborer sweats all day, but a wealthy investor makes one strategic move that completely changes the trajectory of their portfolio. Decisions scale. Sweat does not. Which leaves us with the final, really hard truth. Every single circumstance you're facing today, your bank account, your career, your network, is the exact result of your past decisions. If you truly want to scale your life and finally step out of that time for money trap, you have to fundamentally change the way you are making decisions today.
So, I want to leave you with this highly provocative question. Don't just be a passive listener here. What 5 decisions will you make right now, today, to stop selling your time and start building your leverage? Are you going to upgrade your circle? Are you going to start investing? Will you finally learn to sell? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.